Hey guys, today I'm gonna show you my EDH Melek is a Paragon deck. It's for Magic the Gathering. So if you're not familiar with him, basically he says you play with the top card of your library revealed. If it's an instant or sorcery, you can cast it, and when you cast it, you get another free copy of it. So that's what he does. This one's from Dragon's Maze, so let's get into it. Start off with the lands. I run about 15 basics, only one snow-covered mountain, the rest are snow-covered islands. I run about 33 or 34 lands altogether. So Sulphur Falls, Steam Vents, Is It Boiler Works, Volcanic Island, Is It Guildgate, Temple of Epiphany, which is really good because you want to move cards around the top of your library, especially since you can cast them. I run 3 fetch lands: Arid Mesa, Scalding Tarn, Misty Rainforest. I run the Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse. Utility lands, I run Strip Mine. It's just really good for EDH. It can destroy their Cavern of Souls or Reliquary Tower, Command Tower, whatever you need. Next, I have Gemstone Caverns. I really like this card. Just the ability to start with a land in play is really good. Having mana in EDH is very important. Reliquary Tower. This deck does draw lots of cards, so having a Reliquary Tower is pretty important. Academy Runes, so this basically allows you to combo with Expedition Map. Search your library for land every turn is really good. Make sure you don't miss your land drops, or if you need a specific land, you can do that with Expedition Map. Cavern of Souls. This is a Tribal Wizards deck, so having Cavern is really good. Don't want to have your creatures countered. This is Maze of Ith. So there's some creatures in this deck, but not a whole lot. So being able to fog one creature each turn is pretty good. Homeward Path. Sometimes people like to take your things, or your creatures anyways. So being able to get them back is pretty nice. It also combos well with Perplexing Chimera, which I do run in this deck. And I try not to be douchey about it. I try to play this deck really fair and make sure that people have a lot of fun. I have Teleria West, so basically you can transmute for anything that costs 0. So any of the lands, you can transmute this land into any of those. Next I have some control cards. I don't really run a whole lot of counters in this deck. This is more of like a really casual deck to, just for sitting back and drawing cards. So Spin into Myth, you can tuck their commander. Wipe Away if you want to stop somebody's combo. Mindbreak Trap, so if somebody starts to storm or combo or whatever, you can exile any one of their spells. You cast it for free if someone casts more than 3 spells. Hinder, being able to tuck somebody's commander, especially when you're playing aggro. A lot of times you really won't have this in your opening hand anyways, but it's nice that it's in there. This one, Remand. This one's strictly here just to draw a card. That's really about it. Yeah. Cryptic Command. When you're playing against aggro or combo or something, being able to Cryptic Command, tap all their guys during their upkeep is really good. It's kind of like a time walk, but they'll still be able to cast spells. So this just buys you a little bit of time. Time Reversal, this card's great. I love it in this deck. It helps us stall. The longer the game goes on, the better the chance that you have in winning. So if you Cyclonic Rift Overload, or Mizia Mortar's Overload, Cursing the Swine, and then wipe their guys away. You know, it's pretty good. It also allows us to refill our hand. I play this one over the other ones because this one does exile itself, and I feel like it just plays a little more fair. It costs 5 instead of 4, or some of the other effects that are similar to this. Then the last card for the control package is the Counterflux. So, you know, somebody just has something that you don't want them to resolve. Counterflux gets the job done. So we are playing Melek, and our top card of our library is really important to us. So playing both Scroll Rack and Sensei's Dividing Top is really important. You can, you know, move any card from your hand to on top of your library with Scroll Rack. You can manipulate the top 3 cards with Sensei's Top. So it's really good. Next, I have my artifacts. So I run Reshape, which is really good, especially if you're running like Solemn, Simulacrum, or you can reshape like Expedition Map into anything else. So Reshape just says as additional cost to play, sacrifice an artifact, and then you search for an artifact with converted mana cost X or less. So here's Expedition Map. You know, it works well with Academy runes. Then Thrawn Dynamo, just having access to lots of mana is really good, so that's why I run it. Soul Ring, turn 1 Soul Ring. I mean, who doesn't like that? Especially when you can turn 1 Mox Diamond also. So just getting that extra land out there early game really helps accelerate and lets us cast our commander to start getting value out of our spells. Gilded Lotus, you know, it's a pretty much a staple for most EDH decks. Darksteel Ingot, yeah, it taps for any color. It's 3 cost. Armillary Sphere, some people play Wayfarer's Bauble. I like Armillary Sphere because you get 2 lands, and it's also art done by Franz von Winkle, which is one of my favorite artists. So yeah, getting 2 lands is pretty good. Vessel of Endless Rest, I don't think this card gets enough play in EDH. You get to put a card from somebody's graveyard on the bottom of their library, so it allows you to get extra value out of your spells, or your artifacts, whatever, creatures. Getting cards back, I feel like, is always really good, so that's why I run it. Also taps for any color of mana. So then Vidalcan Shackles. Since we are running pretty much strictly all islands, Vidalcan Shackles is really good, so, you know, why not run it? Also, Vidalcan Shackles works well with Perplexing Chimera and Homeward Path, so being able to get back Chimera to, you know, kind of control how people are playing and the flow of the game is really good. I try to make it fun and just, you know, take people's spells that really aren't that important, and I just really try to, you know, play a casual game and make sure everybody has fun. Relic of Progenitus, so if somebody has a graveyard deck, then having a Relic is really good. It's only cost 1, and you can exile stuff, pay 1, exile it, exile all cards in the graveyard, draw a card. And drawing cards is good with this deck. Mystical Tutor, if you have to tutor up, you know, a counter spell or a time walk spell, reshape, whatever you need, go and get it, throw it on top. Hopefully Malek's on the field, then you get 2 copies of it. Brainstorm, draw 3 cards, put 2 back, really good. Now we have Jace Beleren, drawing cards, and Solemn, you know, get a land. When he dies, draw a card. Teferi's Puzzle Box, a lot of people like to have their, you know, they'll have a hand of cards and they'll kind of figure out what kind of line they want to play. Well, Teferi's Puzzle Box kind of messes all that up for them, and this allows us to filter cards and, you know, pretty much only play our best cards. Jace's Ingenuity, draw 3 cards. It's really good, especially when you get 2 copies, draw 6 cards. Rhystic Study, you know, even if you only draw 3 cards off this throughout the whole game, you pretty much got your value out of it. If people are tapping out, then that's even better. So you don't have to worry about stuff. Mud the Mixture. So I rarely use this as a counter spell. I pretty much predominantly only use it to transmute for other spells that cost 2. So let's take a look at those. I run Is It Charm, so you can counter a spell. You can do 2 damage to a thing if you want to, kill your own Solemn off and draw a card, or if you just want to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Really good, and it has good flavor for the deck. Trick Bind, stop their combo, or stop whatever somebody wants to, pop Nevinyrral's Disc. You Trick Bind the ability, and you get to keep all your guys. Curse of the Swine, exiling people's creatures is really good, especially in EDH. Mizium Mortars, 4 damage. Pretty much only overload this because that's it. And also when you cast 2 off the top of Melek, that's 8 damage to all the creatures. So pretty much like a board wipe. Cyclonic Rift, another board wipe. Reverberate, cast a spell, cast Reverberate off the top. Now you have like 3 copies of the spell if Melek's on the field. Seems really good to me. I like it. Nivex Guildmage, draw a card, discard a card, copy spells. Kind of does everything that we want our deck to do. Although I don't utilize him enough, he's still really good. Snapcaster Mage, getting more value out of the spells already in our yard. So, yeah. So that pretty much does it for the cards that I transmute for. There's other, you could get Scroll Rack and other things, but those are pretty much the only ones that I'll go after. Laboratory Maniac, he's one of our win conditions, so yeah, you gotta have him in there. Consecrated Sphinx, whenever an opponent draws a card, you may draw 2 cards. So this is really good, especially when you play Jace Beleren, you have everybody draw a card and you're drawing lots. Or with Teferi's Puzzle Box, people are drawing cards off the top of their library, so you're just getting, you're just going to draw all of the cards in your deck really fast. So he's really good and helps us accelerate our card draw in the late game. Omen Speaker, 2 drops, Scry 2, really good, especially for Melek. Change around the top cards of your deck. Trinket Mage allows us to get Expedition Map, Soul Ring, Relic of Progenitus, Sensei's Divining Top, all the good artifacts. Realm Right, we are running Vidalcan Shackles, and not all of our lands are islands, but just in case, can just play Realm Right, name islands, and you don't have to worry. Or if you don't have any red and you want to, play Is It Chronarch, then you can name mountains. And so we do have Is It Chronarch, play a spell, play him, get that spell back out of your yard. So he's really good, getting value out of our spells. So Magus of the Future, since we are playing with the top card of our library revealed anyways, having Magus on the field just makes it that much better. It's because you can cast anything, you can play your lands, creatures, whatever. Glenalandra, she's good for controlling stuff. Counter non-creature spells. Most of the time I just use her to draw cards because she is a wizard and I do play a zombie. So that's why it's tribal wizards. And she's really good. It helps us accelerate and draw more cards to hopefully end the game. Teferi, so it makes all your spells that much better, makes your opponent's spells not as good. So yeah. Keranos gives us card draw and bolting each turn, so it's kind of an alternate win condition. He's a great blocker. We are playing quite a few creatures and enchantments, so having Keranos out there is a really good idea. Ulamog, so being able to destroy somebody's thing, shuffle our graveyard in, Ulamog's just great, and he can close out the game for us if we need. Arcanus, just tap, draw 3 cards each turn. That's really good, especially in EDH. A lot of people like to go after and try and kill him. He's a 4 toughness, so just out of lightning bolt range. Chemister, tap to draw 2. It's really good. So Archaeomancer, get cards back out of our graveyard. Venser, he's awesome, He doesn't counter spells. He returns it back to the hand, so it kind of gets around it. Niv Mizzet, drawing extra cards each turn and doing damage to your opponents is really good. Phyrexian Metamorph, copy any of your artifacts or any of your creatures. Clone, copy any of your creatures. Mole Drifter comes into play, draw 2 cards. You know, that's really good. Wild Ricochet, so, you know, you can kind of like spelljack somebody's thing. Not their creatures, but any instant or sorcery. So somebody, you know, wants to cruel ultimatum you or something, you know, you can take it and redirect it back at them. Chase the Mind Sculptor is really good. Brainstorm each turn, unsummon, you know, Fate Seal, really awesome. Leyline of Anticipation, really great card. Give all your cards flash. Yeah, and you can start with it on the board if it's in your opening hand. Future Sight, you know, that's Magus of the Future enchantment version. You know, play the top card of your library. So these are the win conditions. There's Omniscience. You can cast non-land cards from your hand as though, or without paying their mana cost, so all your spells are free, except for the X spells. The X would be 0. Enter the Infinite, draw cards equal to the number of cards in your deck, put 1 back. Beacon of Tomorrows, this one's just really great because we are playing Melek, and so shuffling our deck is pretty awesome, especially when he's on the field, so we can, you know, see what comes up when you shuffle. And then there's Time Stretch. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, let me know.